Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And as you are going to see here in a second, we have sisters breaking the chains of limiting beliefs and building generational wealth for their family. What the heck? Let's get this party started. Welcome, Trish. Welcome, Kimi.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, thank you.
Hello. How are you ladies this morning?
Doing great.
Doing great.
Nice. So where are you both calling in from?
I'm calling in from upstate New York, and Trish is calling in from Arizona.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
Okay, very cool. Well, this is a first for me. I've never had. Let me take the sticker off my hat. I finally got a new hat here after the abuse. Now, I'm not saying I still have the other one laying around here somewhere, but I think it deserves a break after a couple of years of being slammed on the ground. So, ladies, wow, this is a first for me, having two sisters on the show. What is this like to be here? Start with you, Kimi, to be here with your sister.
It's awesome. Trish and I have been putting our heads together quite a bit since about 2015. And she's honestly my favorite person to do anything with because she's reliable, she's consistent, and she's my big sister, so I've been chasing her my whole life.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, Trish, what about you? I mean, what's this experience been like? Just first reaction doing it with your sister and being here on the show today with your sister.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of like everything coming together because, like Kimi said, we've done a lot of things over the years, but although we did them together, we were still separate, if that makes sense. Where this is, truly the one thing we can actually do together and have a complete joint effort. So
yeah. So are you both kind of, do you have your own links and profiles and campaigns, or are you working on the same business specifically together? You're both independent businesses, or are you working on, with the same affiliate links or creating the same courses as a team?
A little bit of both. Yeah,
Okay.
we're using the same affiliate link, but we do have our own profiles. So we're kind of attacking it from different angles, but funneling it to the same place.
Okay. All right. So that makes sense. So I guess, gosh, man, your sister would really be the only person or brother or, that you would really do that with. I mean, that's a lot of trust. That's a lot of trust that you two have in each other, and that's pretty cool. That's very rare. I think that's inspirational for a lot of us who have siblings. What was it like for you both to get started? What attracted you to Legendary? Why don't we start with you, Kimi?
So Caroline was the first person that I was watching. And marketing, honestly, was kind of like my kryptonite, something I just didn't get. I just couldn't get it in my head. It just didn't resonate as far as how to do it. And I had spent a lot of money on other programs. I mean, like $8,000. And I was still missing that piece. So I just couldn't move forward. And after watching people have success, people without experience have a lot of success. I said, okay, I'm going to do the challenge. And in the first 2 days, I was like, forget about it. This is amazing training. And I'm a trainer myself, so I know how training needs to be set up. And I was just so pleased with how well it was put together and the support that the program provided. So it's been an awesome experience.
How about you, Trish? What would you say? What attracted you? And tell us about what that was like. Did Kimi come to you and say, hey, you need to check this out? Give us the play-by-play in a nutshell of what attracted you, and also why you said, yes, I'll do this.
Yeah, so it's a little bit layered, but I've been doing online marketing for the last probably 5 or 6 years and actually did affiliate marketing about 5 years ago. But long before TikTok and Reels, everything was through paid ads and stuff. But I wasn't doing it specifically for the affiliate marketing piece. I was doing it to use it to bring in leads for my other business that I do. And in 2020, obviously everything went crazy. That business 10 times, it was doing great. And so I really kind of had put affiliate marketing on the back burner for a bit, just because I was so busy building that. And I've been talking to Kimi for a while going, come on, you've got to get on TikTok. You've got to do this. You got to, do this. And she's like, no, this just isn't resonating with me the way it needs to. So fast forward, I actually was in New York for a week visiting family.
Mhm.
And Kimmy and I were at the gym one morning, and she's like, "You've got to check this out." And interestingly, she did send me one of Caroline's videos, which I had actually already seen. And I just kept scrolling by because I had my own agenda, had my own blinders on what I was doing because it was working for me. And anyway, when Kimmy kind of brought this up, I started looking into it just a little bit more. And I'm like, you know what? I 100% believe in affiliate marketing. I have been looking, I guess in the late fall into December, I had honestly been looking for something else. I just wasn't sure what, but I wanted something that was going to not take up tons of my time, that was going to, but pay me for my efforts. And so I kind of was open to looking. And so when Kimmy sent that to me, I said, you know what, I'll do this. I'll partner with you. And so she really didn't have to push very hard. I was just like, how do you see this doing? She goes, I think this is for the first time a business we could truly do together. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. So it was kind of that simple.
Wow. That's cool. That's cool. And so which one of you has network marketing experience? Is that you, Trish?
It's both of us.
Oh, both of you.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. I've pushed a little further along than Kimmy has, but endured the grind a little longer, but
it is a grind. It is a grind. What would you say the difference between affiliate marketing and network marketing is in your simplest description?
For me, what's appealing about the affiliate marketing is that, yes, you can bring the leads in, you can nurture them, you can help them. But once they kind of get on their way, they're on their way. Where with network marketing, you're constantly, focused on working with every single person and helping every single person. And yes, I'm not going to knock it because I do it. And it's what's allowed us to be traveling full time for the last year and a half. However, there's something to be said with doing what you need to do and just walking away and not needing to, follow up all day with every single person.
Yeah. Would you agree, Kimmy? What would you add?
I would agree with that 100%. It is the reason that I sort of, I never stepped completely away, but just kind of backed off with network marketing, is we've both built our businesses up and seen companies change from network marketing to affiliate marketing, ironically enough.
Right.
And the teams that we built with thousands of people then all of a sudden became our competition, essentially. And then I ended up having my son, which was a surprise. And that's what really had me step back, was my husband and I had tried forever. And when I left my full-time job, I got pregnant with my son, and I said, you know what? I know what kind of grind it is to build and run a network marketing business. And right now I just want to focus on my family. So I started focusing on training, kind of like Trisha. So I do leadership and mindset training for different corporations. And it was my way of being able to pour into people. But again, take what you've learned and do something with it, or don't. It's not on me to keep following up to see if you are. So I still get to do what I love without having to do all that follow-up.
Yeah. And I really think it's important that, me personally, the reason why I always got uncomfortable in various network marketing companies that I was in, because it's a real, if you're gonna tell us that we're gonna be entrepreneurs in this network marketing company, then treat us like entrepreneurs. Don't treat us like employees. And also, absolutely be sensitive. The owners of the company have to be really, really sensitive, and a lot of them aren't. That how seriously people take compensation plans. When you get involved in something, and that's the agreement that you made, was, yes, I'm going to get involved in this because of this particular compensation plan. Don't ever take something away from people. Only try to add to it. Only try to add to it. If you have to change it, fine. And that was something that really got me frustrated with network marketing. Although it gave me a lot of skills, it helped me. I mean, really, it gave me my start in entrepreneurship. Like, it legitimately gave me my start, because there was nowhere else that I could go and get a job. Personally, I was 24 years old. This was this was many years ago, 15-ish years ago, right? I was coming out of drug treatment. Some lady approached me in a telemarketing business, a company that I was working for, and said, you look like a sharp fellow. Do you keep your business options open? I was like, it's about time somebody noticed. Absolutely I do. I was the easiest recruit ever. I was actually had graduated this treatment facility. Been sober ever since. By the way, just in case we have any new viewers, but yeah, I went over. I was living with my mom at the time. I'd graduated, and I had her bring me over to the lady's house, and I was the only guy there. There was her husband there, and then he got up and left the room. I'm like, hey, what's going on? But it didn't matter. I mean, man, woman, or child. I was infatuated with the idea of like leverage and systems and being an entrepreneur and working for myself. So I was like, I'm in. I don't even understand any of what you're talking about right now, but let's get rich was basically, and it's been developing skills ever since, and many, many years of overnight success. So what would you tell the brand new person who doesn't have the experience that you both have in entrepreneurship and evaluating things, right? And really knowing what it takes to create results. I mean, you, in some cases, you have applied yourself and created, and in some cases you have backed off and you're aware of that, why you backed off, but you both have experience and now you're both successful with this, well on your way. Let's start with you, Trish. What would be your advice to somebody who's new, who's sitting here on the fence, skeptical, unsure, like we all are, uncomfortable with being new at something? What do you say to that person, and what do you say in your videos, and what do you regularly say to people anyways if they have that question, which I'm sure they always do?
They do. I think most of the people who I talk with are, they have the fear of not being able to do it themselves. They lack the belief. And so I think that one of the things is to understand that we've all got the same playing field if we take the right steps. And obviously the biggest thing is the learning, learn what you need to do, but then go out and apply it and stay consistent, because no matter what you do, any profession, any sport, any fitness program, anything, if you can take that knowledge, apply it, and then stay consistent long enough to get those results, you're going to get them. And you're just as capable as anybody else. It's just, some are more consistent than others. And that's usually what I have found is people quit before they can go out and actually reap the benefits of all their work, because they just don't stay at it long enough.
Yeah. I say they quit before the miracle happens. And the miracle might not be a, big old commission. It might not even be a sale, but it'll be you recognizing your growth. Right. Which is something that's difficult to do. Right. We never feel ourselves growing up. I mean, that's a great analogy. You never felt but your parents were like, oh my God. Or people, when they saw you, they were like, oh my God, you used to be this small. You're like, I didn't feel myself growing. This is just how I am now. But I think that miracle that keeps us going is realizing that we're growing, realizing that we can do this, realizing that we're not dumber than everybody else. Kimi, how do you respond to people who are in that sort of almost like paralyzed from like both lack of confidence or unsure if they can do it, or just feeling so uncomfortable being new at something?
So I echo everything that Trisha says, for sure. I think one of the biggest things we have to work on is our mindset. So start feeding your mind with the type of information that's going to help you move forward. Start surrounding yourself with the type of people that are going to build you up instead of break you down. Stop listening to people that haven't achieved the thing that you want to have, and start surrounding yourself with the people that have done it. That's huge. And I always like to ask people too, okay, if you continue to do what you've done for the next year, where's your life going to be? If you don't change anything, where's it going to be? And if you do change it, what's the worst that can happen? You try something new, right? Be consistent, take the steps, feed your mind properly, and just keep going. Don't quit, fail forward.
And I think a lot of people have a lot of, it's like when we want to start something new, we're usually coming out of something old relationships that maybe have, we want to get out of them. And I'm talking even acquaintances and friendships and jobs. And there's just lots of relationships that we have with things that are old and we want new, right? And it's like, how do we end those? You know what I mean? Like, how do we stop hanging out with those people? How do we stop, people, places, and things? That's what they told me when I was getting clean. And I almost feel like going into business is like getting clean from drugs and alcohol, because you really have to detox from, and there may even be withdrawal, right? You're like, maybe starting to say no to certain relationships, or hanging out with certain people, or answering the phone, or texting back right away, or just right. And there's gonna be some withdrawal to those old activities, behaviors, relationships. Can either one of you speak to that, about what it was like to actually withdraw from some of the things that were no longer serving you?
So one of the things I have found, obviously other people's opinions are always out there, whether you want them or not. And for me, I just dove into what I knew I wanted. I really dove into making myself better, elevating myself, building my people. And so for me, I really just started going to more events that were with the people who I wanted to be around, with the proper mindset. I dove into reading a lot more personal development books, and I think naturally I just started being around different people. We then moved across the country. That was awesome, because you immediately removed everybody from your circle. Don't recommend that's what you do, but it did work.
But in some cases, it's a great move. I mean,
Yeah.
just to, like, if you're drowning in, sometimes I'm just gonna say it because it's the truth for a lot of people. It may not be truth for you or me or anybody else. I don't know, but sometimes you do have to move out geographically to actually get a fresh start. Like, sometimes you need that, and that's such an individual choice, such a personal choice, if you need that dramatic of a change. But just I mean, sometimes it can be useful.
Yeah, it wasn't the purpose of our move, but at the end of the day, I was once we did it, I was like, this is kind of cool. Nobody
Right,
knows
totally.
me. Nobody knows what I do. Nobody has an opinion. I just get to go be me.
Right.
So I don't know, just really doing the things that are going to elevate your mind, like Kimi said, because at the end of the day, it is mindset, it is belief. And if you've got those two things, you get the rest.
I found one of the best ways, and I want you to talk about, both of you, just mindset, and how have you developed it? How have you improved it? How have you strengthened it? I mean, what even is mindset in personal development to both of you? I wanted to say real quick, for me, personal development and mindset work has in many ways been about not raising the level, not raising the volume of people's voices and opinions. It's silencing them. It's creating space where I can think for myself. It's working in an environment, seriously, having boundaries. Like, my word of the year this year is boundaries, because it's not that it can sometimes be the physical boundaries that you set, but it's also letting people know who you are, what you want, what you need, and saying, this is what I'm doing. I'm okay if you're not okay. I don't want to be, I'm not going to take all of your not okayness right now. If you'd like to talk to me, I value my time, even if you don't. And so I'm available actually tomorrow at 5 p.m. It's starting to really take control of your time, your calendar, saying no to more things. I mean, that's an example of, like, just current, what is personal development and mindset training for me, because it's also, I mean, mindset is, for me, it's not just how I act, is what my mindset is. right? So it's like I can always get a gauge of where my mindset is by how I feel with setting boundaries, how I feel about speaking up for myself. Like I can tell you exactly where my mindset is if I'm, you know, if I'm low and slow to advocate for myself and all that, then my mindset's probably poor that day. I'm not feeling great about myself. But if I'm setting boundaries, if I'm saying, yes, I'll take that, or this is what I expect in this situation, or no, I'm not available for that, my mindset is in a pretty good condition. What is this all? What does personal development and mindset mean to you? Let's start with you, Kimi.
So first, it's self-awareness. I think understanding the conversations that we have going on in our minds all the time and starting to challenge some of the things that we tell ourselves. One of the things that drew me to your course also, Dave, was just that you came from humble beginnings, and Trish and I both come from humble beginnings. And we grew up in a place where people would say things like, people from here don't go on to make a lot of money. When you hear that as a little kid, then you become like, that becomes your belief. And now you hold yourself back from trying things because people from here don't make a lot of money, right? So it's really starting to identify when you heard these things that are holding you back and then saying, well, how true is that? Because this person is doing it and that person is doing it. And being able to say, is this line of thinking really supporting me in moving forward? If it's not, what would support me more, right? What's a new script that I can write? What's a new thing that I can tell myself? So books are a huge help. Any kind of mindset development books. I mean, if people wanted some recommendations, Atomic Habits is great. The Compound Effect is great. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is great. These books are awesome. They've been good for me.
Yeah.
And then also not judging the people around you when you do start to grow, when other people don't, because we all go through this journey at our own pace, right? So it's not judging people for where they are, it's accepting them for where they are, but also honoring yourself and setting those boundaries. Like you said, you can still love them, but I don't have to take on their baggage. I don't have to take on their beliefs. And really that's it. Don't judge people, still love them, but you don't have to let them be all in your head.
I love the don't judge others when you start to grow, because we really do want to save the world and change the world. And we do it when we get clean. We do it when we get religious. We do it when we get into business and start to learn. It's just, those are some of the more popular places where you see somebody make a personal discovery and now all of a sudden want to, share that with others, but then begin to get frustrated that they're not reacting the way that they want them with the same excitement, and then resentment forms. And it's like, well, gee whiz, what was the point of pursuing that in the first place if you can't find happiness just within yourself with it? And that really attracts a lot more people anyways, doesn't it, than trying to shove it down their throat. Trish, how would you answer that question? The mindset, the personal development, what is that? What is that in your eyes, and what would you add that Kimi said?
Yeah, so obviously I agree with everything she said, and honestly, I will say we've coached each other back and forth over the years on certain things for sure, but definitely, taking what you learn, like you can read all the books in the world, you can watch all the trainings in the world, you can watch all the videos, but if you're not actually doing something with that knowledge and putting it into play, then it's not really helping. So I am a big reader. I do a lot of things, but I feel I grew the most when I kind of put all of that into action. And I had actually became a sales coach for internet marketing for a bit and was doing that. And really that was one of the things that helped me grow the most, because I was talking to so many people every single day and hearing where they were at. And I realized, holy cow, like there are so many people who need this knowledge that I have, how can I help them? And so it really, for me, just going back and taking those things and asking questions and helping people work through their struggles helped me grow more than anything else I did.
Yeah.
And so just doing the work with,
It's
along with what
amazing.
you're learning.
It's amazing how much you learn by doing. I mean, and I'd love to remind everybody, as you're going through the training here at Legendary, you may be getting frustrated because, well, I'm going through this training, but I'm not feeling like I'm getting it, or I don't understand it yet, or I still feel so overwhelmed. Well, that's because you haven't completed the learning process yet. The learning process, that's the problem with our public education system. It is a problem all over the probably globe, but especially here in the United States, to where we give the degree and celebrate once you just get done reading the book and sitting in the classroom, and you think that you've achieved something, and you did. As my stepbrother says, it proves that you can show up somewhere consistently for a couple of years. And he's got a master's degree, went to Florida State. So that's just his description. The rubber hits the road when you go out there and actually like put it all into action, put it into play. That's why so many people don't use their degrees, because they, in my opinion, didn't put enough emphasis on, all right, this is just the beginning, not the end. This is just the beginning. Now you're going to go out and utilize this, and none of this matters until you actually get out there and you do it. That's really how you know that you've learned it. And so for those of you going through the challenge, those of you going through the blueprints, those of you learning anything anywhere, we got to make sure that we don't get into lifetime learner, career college student mode. Do you agree? And how many times have you seen that in others? In what would you say the percentage of people that allow that to let them stop them? They don't get started because they don't feel like they perfectly know everything, and don't understand the concept, or haven't yet realized that entrepreneurship, or I guess moving forward, what you just said, Trish, you just said something that was really, really important, which is essentially you haven't learned it yet until you do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would say we come across it a lot. There's just so many people have that. And I think a lot of it goes back to school, because we were always graded on every single thing we did, right? You were graded on the perfection of it. And what I have found when it comes to online marketing is that it's not about perfection. It's about getting it done and getting it out there. Yes, we can improve, we can make it better, but perfect isn't what people want. And you're not going to be duplicatable or relatable to somebody if you are perfect. Mm-hmm. And so, being able to go out there and make mistakes and learn from those mistakes is so key. And I definitely find in everything that I've done that that's probably one of the biggest things that holds people back. They're afraid to start because they don't think they know enough yet, but they don't know enough because they didn't start. And yeah.
Kimi, how often have you been surprised by something that you released, that you hit post on or hit publish on or send, that you realize later had a mistake, or you just were like, screw it, I'm not going to do it anymore, this sucks, but I'm just going to post it anyways, and it ended up being just blowing you away or exceeding your expectations? How many times has that happened?
A couple times since I've been doing this, since we've only been at it about 40 some days, but made a post and I was not ready for the response that I got. And so I had to kind of whip together another funnel and direct people in a certain direction, which I ended up being really cool. But yeah, there's no shortcut to experience. And sometimes we get that paralysis by analysis. We don't take action. Just show up, just do it. Because even if some of my videos are really cringy at the beginning, it's hard to go back and see when I first started. But if you start out and you only post the perfect stuff, people are going to think, I can't do that. Look, this person's so great. They've got it all down. I'm not that good. Put your cringy stuff out there, mess it up at the beginning, because people can see your learning process and it helps them get more belief in their own process that they have to go through as well.
Yeah, we're all learning from each other in this era right now in 2023. We're all watching each other and learning from each other, and it's really I think the people who are succeeding, as one of our guests said a couple of weeks ago, are those that are just simply not letting everybody know that they really don't know what they're doing. There's because none of us really, we're all doing new stuff. We're all doing brand new stuff. I mean, all of this AI, all of these social media platforms out here, TikTok, the way every day something's changing. You got to really kind of stay up to speed. Once you get going, it's much easier to stay up to speed, because it's just, you just see the changes and you're already working with them, and it's not a big deal. It feels like a lot if you're not actively marketing something, then it feels overwhelming. But the truth is that, look, in 2023, we're all just figuring it out as we go. You know, all the rules are being made by people who are no smarter than any of you who are watching this. You know, all of the success is being gobbled up by people who are no better, no smarter. And quite frankly, we really have this, and it's a real thing. It's called the liking gap. We have built into us it's a phenomenon that where we believe that we are less likable than we actually are, right? We believe that people won't like us, when the truth is that they actually enjoy our company, or think we're funny, or think we're smart, or look up to us, but we think that they don't like us. And so there's people out here who are, we're constantly judging ourselves, saying, well, I'm not as pretty as her, or I'm not as fit as him, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. My belief is right here, right now in 2023, not only are we all, you said it, I think a second ago, Kimi, you said that the playing field is leveled. I believe that in 2023, we're all learning from each other, and really those who just are taking those bold steps are the ones who are gobbling up the success. That's just what it is. Also, those who are, for the most part, keeping the blinders on and not doing too much comparison with others, because that's a absolute sure place to get lost, derailed, and probably go ahead and just take your tombstone and put all your business dreams inside of your grave. How do each of you deal with keeping the blinders on and doing your market research and staying up with what's going on, but not getting into that all disruptive comparisonitis, as I like to call it? We'll start with you, Kimi. Do you have any experience on this?
Yes, I call it compare and despair. We try not to do that. And we've had some conversations about this recently, haven't we, Trish? But because we can see, oh, well, this person's doing really well and ours aren't doing this or whatever. We're like, you know what? All we need to do is stay consistent. Just keep doing what we're doing, because you never know what video is going to perform. And if you look across the different platforms, they perform so differently on different platforms too. So there is no formula right now, I don't think. It's just get your stuff out there and see what sticks.
How about you, Trish? I mean, you've probably been dealing with either comparing or seeing others compare, but how do you personally deal with it right here, right now in 2023? How does it show up for you now? What does it look like? And what's your antidote for it?
Well, I'll just say, for me today, it's very different than it was when I got started on social media, because, and I'll just say that for the new people specifically, because I'm way more confident today and really don't care. But when I got started, I did. And Kimi knows, like, I was that kid growing up that always wanted the approval. And I think it just stems to, just some childhood stuff, right? That we've all got our stuff.
We sure do.
Needing to, get that approval. So when I first got started on social media, it was very hard. And in fact, that was when you really went live on Facebook every day versus doing a video that you posted, right? So it was always a Facebook Live. And I just got to the point where I would, when I would do my videos, I would cover my camera so that I couldn't even see my face, and I would go live. But I just didn't go back and watch my stuff. And I know that in order to get better, you do need to watch some of your stuff, but that was how I did it. I posted, and I would check my analytics, and I really tried to take all emotion away from it and just look at the facts, of what was performing, what wasn't, and analyze, okay, what should I do more of? So now today, I honestly get on social media just for business. And that's it. Like, I get on, I do some research, I do my videos, I post them, and I'm gone. So I don't spend so much time looking at other people's things. I don't, if people have a bad comment, no problem. I'll either play into it or just block them. And I don't care. But it did take some time to get there. I remember when, gosh, even probably 8 years ago, Kimi and I were doing some stuff online, and we'd get all upset by people's comments and try and get into this, like, almost like argument with them, but you're never going to win. And that's what I've learned. So now I just, I love the satisfaction of just block, and be done and move on. And
So, I
yeah,
mean, Trish, are you saying that it's strictly business, not personal at all, really, the internet in terms of using it? Like, I mean, you may do a little bit of shopping, I would assume, online, but in
a
terms of
little bit.
social media and
Yeah.
that sort of aspect of the internet, you're saying it's strictly business for you?
For the most part, I mean, I will post, so I've got different channels for all my personal stuff, and a lot of my network marketing stuff is on other channels too. So I just created everything new for this. I wanted it to be 100% separate. I honestly started out by blocking a ton of people because I didn't want my businesses crossing over, even though I know it's going to, it's social media, it's going to happen, but I tried to prevent it as much as possible.
Right.
And, and I will go on a little bit on my personal profile for some personal stuff to keep up with a few friends or family, but it's not much time. It really isn't. I honestly, in the time that I have to do other stuff, I go do other stuff. I'm usually outdoors doing something. I try very hard to not be on social media any more than necessary.
Mm. How about you, Kimmy? What do you how do you keep separation from church and state? I mean, how do you, it's so easy, right? Our phones are everywhere with us. It's easy to just pick it up and just check something, and then all of a sudden, oh man, I'm triggered by that comment, and now I'm off to the races, and now my whole afternoon's ruined, and dang it. I mean, how do you both keep the separation, but also, not get sucked into either comparisonitis or kind of fury at the trolls?
Sure. We're not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. I figure we're going to attract the right people who are our people. And there's some people that are just always going to be those referees in life. They're not playing, they're not even spectating, they're just refereeing, making all the calls. This is wrong, that's wrong. Whatever, go referee, have fun, but you're not doing it on my page. And that's just fine.
That's
It can be easy to get sucked in. So yes, I've had to learn to actually schedule my time that I'm doing business and schedule the time that I'm making content. So being diligent about it, like, you have to approach your business with intention, um, and not like a hobby, not just, oh, I'm scrolling around. Let me see if maybe I'll make a post today. So it's really doing that intentionally.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Refereeing in life. I don't think I've ever heard it put that way. I mean, wow, that is so dang true. How many people,
Mhm.
and they're not even getting paid to referee, and nobody's really even listening to them, but they really think that they're wearing that white and black. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That white and black striped shirt, and they're running, they're blowing their whistle. I mean, wow, man, I'm not, it's going to be hard to look at somebody like that and not see them like kind of like in their underwear in a referee shirt going, trying to blow the whistle on life. God,
Yeah.
sometimes we just got to laugh at these things. I mean, I think that's
Mhm.
part of, I saw a sign in a thrift store one time. This was back when my wife and I were dating, and we bought it, and it said, "Don't take yourself too seriously, or nobody else will."
Mhm.
And that has been something that has been, you know how sometimes those personal things cross over into business and they end up being like, wow, that really is a timeless business principle right there, is don't take yourself too seriously or else nobody else will. What is another one of your pet peeves? You two just seem like you have to have a couple of pet peeves when it comes to affiliate marketing, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, working from home. What are a couple of your pet peeves that you just are kind of things that you follow, things that are important to you? Either one of you jump out. I'm just curious if there's anything that comes up for you when I say that, any immediate ones or ones that are even simple or silly.
Um, I guess for me, you're always going to get this, but I love when people just jump in without actually having any education or knowledge or facts on anything, and put their opinion out there. That is a pet peeve of mine for
Yeah.
sure. Just because we all know better, right? And but I don't know. I think one thing too is people just making assumptions on certain things. That's definitely a pet peeve as well. Just assuming because you do one thing that you're this type of person or not.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know, Kimmy. What are some ones you can think of?
I would agree with that. The scam word is always one that's really annoying.
Yeah.
You know, it's people that listen to, you know, Aunt Matilda who had a friend who tried something one time, and so it's a scam and it doesn't work. Without again doing any kind of real research to see what the definition of, say, a pyramid scheme is or a scam is.
Yeah.
And just kind of running with that. But again, we don't engage with people like that. People like that, they have their mind made up. You're not going to change their mind, and that's okay. And again, learning to not judge them for where they're at, right? Everybody's coming from their own experiences. Everybody's wearing their own filters, and they see the world in their own way from their different experiences, and that's okay. It's not my job to change that for them. When they're ready to see things differently, when they're ready to change, they know where I am.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have, I mean, I have list of different little kind of, you know, beliefs or pet peeves. I agree with yours wholeheartedly. Not speaking about something unless I'm really, really knowledgeable, like really knowing my limitations, not like walking into every situation and just knowing I'm probably dumb about this. I should probably just keep my mouth shut and listen and learn and pay attention, because when I open my mouth, I show everybody how dumb I am. So it's kind of a pet peeve, right? For me to kind of like, observe until I'm ready to speak intelligently. And then when I do, probably more come at it from a humble place of asking questions, right? It's also a persuasion strategy. You know, when nobody in the world wants to, if you want to engage somebody who's uninterested, do something wrong on purpose and watch how quickly they swoop in to correct you. Seriously. I mean, just there's all kinds of little tricks that can be used to show, you know, how, you know, first of all, how to engage people. People are oftentimes not engaged when you're not giving them something to hook into, you know, when there's not something that's a little bit controversial. People are just not as agreeable, right? They're not as agreeable. So I've got a pet peeve of not trying to, I don't usually ever even give advice unless somebody asks me for it, right? One-on-one anyways. It's one of the reasons why I love the internet, because it's one to many. I get to speak. I never speak one-on-one. Even if I do, and I'm talking about even inside of our company, I try to utilize conversations, especially if they're powerful, take the recording, repurpose it, let other people hear it, learn from it. All of our conversations in Legendary are recorded anyways, just for everybody's safety and compliance purposes. So we can always use those conversations, those moments. Everything is about, speaking. That's another pet peeve of mine. Do business one to many, never one-on-one, right? Unless you're just in the DMs, but you've got other things over here going, videos that are being watched, et cetera, et cetera. I wonder if we could maybe end, we'll get a marketing tip from you each at the end, but I wonder if you could just say a little bit about, I think I have a hard time really explaining the power and the opportunity of what is like at our fingertips right now from a silly little phone, right? What we can all do right now, the ability to be able to have our content, our videos, something that we're saying being seen for free by thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Many of us have gotten millions of views on videos. And it is the most, I mean, we all talk about the gold rush, as if that, I mean, people died in the gold rush trying to go just to get there, for God's sakes. You know, it's just not our amygdala that was created in our brain to save us from a saber-toothed tiger is also going, alert when we go to record a video, and it's these things are robbing us, I think, from seeing the bigger picture of how big of an opportunity, how much leverage we have. How do you communicate that opportunity to people? The leverage, the one-to-many aspect, the fact you can do it at home, the fact that you don't have to prospect friends and family, and just when you develop these skills, a whole world of opportunity opens up. Yes, you're going to be a little scared, but how do you really communicate the opportunity without making it sound too good to be true?
I would say, if I can just jump in, it's so funny listening to you, because one of the reasons I got started on social media was just that it was the numbers. and being able to find the right people, because, obviously building a business, in network marketing or anything really, but in that, it was always about finding the people who were interested. And you're like, gosh, I wish people would walk around with a sign on their head, right? So you would know who was interested, who wasn't, so you didn't have to bother them. But it's funny, as I started using social media, now this was a pet peeve of mine, of people saying social media doesn't work. Well,
Right.
clearly it does work. And that
Well,
was
that was
something
all the network marketers who were trying to get everybody to not go outside of the system of just,
Yeah.
working your warm list and all that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was a distraction, and now network marketing companies have finally surrendered.
Yeah.
But continue to interrupt.
Well, it's okay. I was just say we were the first group of people, myself and people who I brought in, that really started using social media to build in our company. And we went crazy really fast, and everybody was like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? I'm like, same thing I've been talking about for a while, just now it kicked in. But what I love about it, and I do think people don't understand this, is, people will go, oh, well, it's getting saturated. No, it's not getting saturated. There are billions of people in this world, and there's hundreds or maybe thousands, watching you or, doing it, versus the billions that are out there that have no idea what this even is. And so, the power of being able to go out and attract, and even if, I know not everybody's doing this, but even if you were posting the same exact videos with the same exact hashtags, you're still going to get different people because of who you are and what you represent. And people are going to be attracted to you and resonate with you for different reasons. So it's definitely not saturated. And honestly, if we're all being honest, it's got to be one of the easiest opportunities that we've ever had at our fingertips. We just need to take advantage of it while it's still hot, because being able to actually get the people to come to you who are interested versus you needing to go bother them is a complete game changer. And being able to do it worldwide, that's also a game changer.
Being the hunted rather than the hunter, right?
Exactly.
Kimi, what comes up for you on this topic?
What comes up for me is making sure you understand who you're talking to and why you're doing what you're doing. I think authenticity when it comes to this is huge. I think people get nervous and they get a little awkward when they're worried about their own agenda, what they need to get from what they're doing. But the truth is, when you're giving value and you're thinking about what information do I have that other people need that they would really find value in, and you're sharing that because it is valuable, then you're going to attract the people that are looking for that. And it's not going to be for everybody. And yes, social media. So specific example, there's someone else I partner with for something else that I do, and they pay for leads. And I'm talking upwards of $400, $500 a month for leads. And they might get 5 quality leads in a week or a month. And that's what they're kind of sharing with everyone that's partnered with them, is that, hey, get these leads. And I'm like, I just built a funnel real quick, and I just added 350 people to my email list from something free that I shared that people were looking for. And I did it in about 10 days. So I said, I'm probably never going to pay for leads because it's a new way of doing things. We don't have to do that anymore. We have people that are looking for what we have.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because in many ways, there's a lot of people who are still teaching affiliate marketing that it has to be done via paid ads. And while that's always an option, and it's certainly a way to put gasoline on the fire. I guess, just if you will, if you have your message dialed in, if you've already really kind of got the ball rolling, and you know that your marketing, your messaging is working because you've already tested it for free. But I said, even, and I'll say this here, I said this on Decade in a Day on Friday. I said, which for those who don't know what that is, it's a training, an all-day workshop that I do every 2 weeks for Blueprint students. I said, the truth is, your first start with paid ads would be just retargeting, not even running cold traffic. If you wanted to run paid ads in 2023, March, and I don't know about December of 2023, you got to stay relevant and you got to have a way to be talking about what's going on right now, because the internet's changing, not the principles, but the platforms. And so yeah, you might retarget people who you sent to your site, you sent into your funnel with free traffic just to retarget them back. But that's actually shouldn't cost you much because it's not a lot of traffic. You're only retargeting people who are already warm, have already seen you. And quite frankly, those are oftentimes the highest return on profit of any advertising you can do. But there's way too much traffic. I've never seen free traffic like this in all my years of doing this. I've been doing this for over 10 years. Getting free traffic to the degree that we're getting free traffic right now, that people are able to get free traffic, is insanity. I've never seen it before. Never seen anything like it in my entire life. And like I said, I'm talking about article marketing, blogging. I'm talking about YouTubing. I'm talking about and it's not YouTube gives you the ability to drive a lot of traffic, but you've got to be good at long form content. There's nothing where you put up a 15-second video that you're not even talking in, and that it has the ability to get millions of views. So let's talk marketing tips. You're both active right now, posting on TikTok. We're sharing your TikTok and Instagram links. We've got Kimi, yours is up right now, and then we've got Trish as well. We've been flashing on the screen. So talk to us about your kind of approach to posting and marketing on social media. Are you starting with TikTok, repurposing from there? Kimi, let's start with you.
That's exactly what I'm doing. And that came from the training that I got, just watching people that are successful, because like Trisha said, I was pretty slow to pull the trigger on the social media, especially the TikTok. So yeah, I just started on TikTok, and I'll save my video without the watermark and I'll repurpose it to the other platforms. And like I said, sometimes the video will do really, really well on one platform and not do anything on another. But it's still important to get it out across all of them, because it's reaching more people, really. Yeah. Just staying consistent that way.
How about you, Trish?
Yeah, I do the same. I start on TikTok and repurpose it. And honestly, it started because because I've been doing it for a couple of years on that platform. But what I found was I had the best ability at that time to do the videos the way I wanted versus in the other platforms. So to me, it's just easier to start there, repost, switch up your hashtags. One of the things I do, I don't know, Kimi, if you do this or not, but I do keep kind of like a little write up and, the hashtags and stuff and the notes on my phone. So I've always got something I can copy and paste pretty easily with that, because that doesn't change too much. And, except for the front end. And as far as another marketing tip, personally, I do a lot of batch content as well, batch creation, because otherwise I just find that throughout the week, you might have the best intentions of getting it done and getting it out there. But if you've got content that's already created that you can post, you're going to be way more consistent with getting it out there.
Are you a batcher and an organizer yourself, Kimi?
I try to be. I do homeschool both of my kids as well, and I work from home. So like Trisha said, it's the best of intentions. I get at least one out a day, but every week I have the intention of batching, and a couple times I've done it. But again, still new, still learning, and I'm just kind of refining the process. It's all a work in progress,
So let's end with some confidence talk. How do you, as a new person, I want to stay here with you, Kimi. How do you just said, well, I'm new, I'm still learning. Okay. Here's a little secret. So am I. Just for everybody listening. I know everybody puts me on a pedestal like I'm this omnipotent being. It's like, I'm not. I don't know what else to say. It's like, look, no guru is, and I'm certainly not a guru. I've met lots of people who, are and it's real easy for us to put up people on pedestals. But the truth is that everybody puts their pants on the same way. That's an old, saying that's been around a long time, because we've been doing the pedestal putting for a long time. We put people up on pedestals and as if they're more capable or something. And I do believe that some people have more natural talent in certain areas, but that's oftentimes rebalanced in somebody else with just good old work ethic. You just outwork them, right? A lot of times when people have natural talent, they can get a little lazy, right? People can rely on that. And so, how when we're talking confidence, how do you deal with in being new and still having the confidence to film your videos and deliver value and say it how you want to say it, and you know that you need to say it in a confident way or else people are not going to listen to it. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, nobody can put a video up and say, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I'm going to post this YouTube video. I'm going to teach you CPR and hopefully it'll work. And I'm not really sure. I'm sort of a newbie here. You're going to flip on to the person who's talking in a way that's going to make you feel, the listener feel confident that the person knows at least what they're talking about. And at least they know their limitations and are not going to give bad information. So Kimi, how have you dealt with creating content, being somebody new? And when people may ask questions like, and I don't know what questions you're getting. You may not be getting questions like, what sort of results do you have, success? But people are always afraid of these as if they're, earth shattering questions that are going to, be the kryptonite to knock their business out and kill it. Finally, somebody asked that death defying question, right? Sometimes we can be scared of things that aren't even real. But how do you deal with being new, but still having the confidence to create great content?
So that's a great question. And I think it comes down to social proof. I wouldn't have gone into this field if it seemed like it was just a bunch of hype, but I've seen the social proof. I literally have watched people make their first $5,000, $10,000 and go on to make more than $400,000, $500,000. I've watched them grow through the process. And it's more than one person that I've seen do this. So the social proof is there. And if you do research outside of just, hey, this is the success certain people are having, you can see that times are changing. Businesses are going to be using affiliate marketing as part of their advertising, probably the majority of their advertising moving forward. So it's staying current with the times and seeing how companies are doing business now and realizing that we have a huge opportunity that we can capitalize on. So maybe I'm not perfect at it yet, but I'm going to get out there and try to get a piece of it while it's there for sure.
I love that you say using other people's social proof. That's yeah, use your story, use somebody else's story. It doesn't really matter, honestly. I mean, people just want to hear a good story, right? What say you about this topic, Trish? Being confident, staying confident, delivering confident, speaking and advocating for yourself, and also what you're recommending, even if you're not the most successful person in your brand.
Well, one thing I've learned, and one thing you said there, it just made me think hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And, it's meaning anybody can do this if you're willing to put in the work. But I think as far as staying confident, I think if you can be genuine and authentic, that's going to help with your confidence so that you're not getting that, just feeling that, you're an imposter, because you're not. And understanding too, that you don't have to be the expert yet, right? You just need to deliver real content and understand that, using other people's social proof, but using that in a way that you're still authentic, but showing what's possible to somebody, and understanding that, again, you don't need to be the senior in high school, that you just need to be one grade ahead of somebody else. So there's always new people who are watching. So you just need to be the first grader to the kindergartner. And understanding that any win is something you can share. It doesn't have to be that you made 6 figures in an amount of time. You made your first commission. You did it in, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks. It doesn't matter. You made your first commission. Talk about sharing, making your first commission. Nobody said that your first commission had to be a high ticket. Nobody said that, you had to have so many at a certain time, but share the wins you get, no matter how big or small they are along the way. And your confidence is going to build, and you're going to start creating your own story.
You took me back to I always like to bring this up and show this just because it's just very relevant. And it's me being interviewed on a show like this back 12 years ago, and what I used to do, tell you just this quick story here real quick. What I used to do was I got involved with this company because I was, and you can see it here, 12 years ago. See? Can you see it?
Yeah.
And I was MLSP and member of the month. This company just stopped doing business after like 12 years, and they transitioned to a different, but different niche. I guess they're focusing on like coaches or something, or life coaching or something. But they were for a long time. They did network marketing training. So
Yep.
I came online and I was trying to improve my network marketing business, and because I was chasing friends and family, right? And they taught how to generate leads online. And so I came into this thing and started learning a lot of the principles that we teach now, like building landing pages and stuff like that. And the way that I used to talk about and get people interested in what I was doing, I had not made any money yet for the first couple of months either. When I was doing that, I had made any money in my network marketing company, and I had made any money in my damn in this, as an affiliate. I hadn't made no money. But what I'm dead serious. I had made zero, okay, the old goose egg. And but you know what I did? I had started generating leads into my AWeber was around back then. I used AWeber. I've used AWeber for a long time. And I would generate leads. And of course, I would have the notification set up on my email to where every time I got an email notification. And what I would do is I would take those email notifications that I would get in my email inbox, and those is what I would show people, right? That's what I'd say, look, I'm generating leads online. You're chasing people offline. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do this. No mention of money. No mention of being rich. I was still driving an old Ford F-150. I was so broke I couldn't afford to pay attention, but I had leads. I was generating leads. People it was a miracle to me. It was something I could really get excited about. And so if I had generated 1 or 2 leads in a day, I'd come back to my email list of probably 9 or 10 people, and I'd say, hey, how would you all like to know how I generated 3 fresh quality leads? Here, let me show them to you, and show the little screenshot of it's like, sometimes you just got to use what you got. You ever heard of that, fellas? Okay. Maybe that's your problem in life. We got to learn to use what you got. And I think that goes for the ladies too, right? Just be grateful for what we got, right? If you've got only a couple of leads, some of you, if you can get your damn follow through and get your damn funnel set up, you could go and say, hey, I can show you all how to build a funnel that can help you to generate leads on the internet. Value. You don't have to say anything about money. You don't have to say anything about living in a mansion. It's just, hey, look what I accomplished. This is how you generate leads online. You build a funnel. It starts with a landing page. I'd like to show you how I do this in a training. Click the link, enter your email, and I'll send it to you for free. It's like that's where we get into that comparisonitis, and we think that we really got to be, sharing $100,000 success stories. But the truth is, a lot of people look at those and they say, that could never be me. It's difficult for oftentimes them to relate to such big numbers. And so never be afraid to share what you've achieved. But also, I think, ladies, we talked about this earlier, you gotta actually recognize that you're growing. You got to realize that you are doing something, and give yourself credit for getting started, and give yourself credit for actually what you are doing. And that's where I think the confidence of recognizing I'm doing this. Most people are not willing to do this. They're still doing this. This is the most they're willing to do.
Exactly.
Referee from the sidelines of TikTok. This is what they're doing. So if you're doing something, you're clicking around, you're building things, funnels, setting stuff up, you're a boss, you're valuable, knowledgeable. You have things that you can go out there and share. And it's just about, they're not going to value it unless you value it. If you don't speak like it's valuable, if you don't share it like it's valuable, if you don't tell them this has the power to change your life, if you listen closely, if you don't tell them that, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna know it. That's got to be one of my number one marketing pet peeves. Is value. They're not going to value you unless you value you. So if you don't talk about what you're doing with confidence, if you don't talk about what you're doing as if it's valuable, if you don't talk about what you know and what's in the videos as if they're valuable, somebody's not going to come along and go, and it's damn sure not their responsibility to come along and say, this person doesn't realize how valuable they are. Let me come and lift them up. That's not what people do. Welcome to the real world. So you have to, value what you do if you want somebody else to. And I speak to myself as well. This was a big learning lesson for me over the years to realize that, sheesh, I really, I do have the goods. I do still got it. I can compete with these people. I am going to get my piece of the pie. I do deserve my seat. So, ladies, I know I'm ranting here. I'm taking up the last few minutes. That was my confidence building piece. And it's been a pleasure to speak with both of you and have you on. And I'd love to have you both back again in the future. And I'm sure we'll hear many more stories about your journey, much more success. And yeah, it's really, really a cool story and a cool situation that you two have. I'm envious. I'd love to have a sibling that I think so many of us would love to have, just a family member or a friend, on board. So we got to be grateful for what we do have. If you have one person that believes in your business, that believes in your goals and dreams, that believes in you, I think you're doing better than most people. Would you ladies agree with that?
100%. Absolutely. Yep.
Just find one person, and maybe you'll connect with them right here in this community. You'll actually probably connect with a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, all right, we'll wrap there. You ladies have a fantastic day. Thanks for coming on. Be legendary. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you so much.
Right. Thanks for having us.
All right,
Bye.
see ya. All right, my friends, you can find Kimi on TikTok and Instagram at _side hustle hacker. That's Kimi, sister number one. She's going to be on TikTok and Instagram at _side hustle hacker. And then you can find Trish on TikTok at nomadic marketer. Nomadic marketer. You can find Trish on Instagram at nomadic affiliate marketer. All right. Just another really cool example. And of course, the first, like I said, of people being creative in this business, working on their business creatively, right? I mean, some people you work with your spouse if they want to support you. Sometimes just their emotional support is really all we need. I don't need you to do anything. Just love me, right? Sometimes 1 in a million, you might get a sister who you can partner with and go on this journey with. For the rest of us, we just have to find friends and people. And sometimes we have to come online and find a whole new tribe. That's okay. That's okay. Don't shame and guilt yourself because you're turning new pages for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. We each have to do with what we've got. But what a lovely thing to have a sibling so supportive in doing this with you. Such a cool thing. They're going to change a lot of lives. I can guarantee you that. All right, my friends, we'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Get out of here. Peace.